Thank you all for joining the call. This is Keep It Pro Training Call. My name is Monique. I'm your host for today's call, live from California. This call is brought to you by Networking Wisdom. For 3 years now, every Sunday, same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can call in where you will learn the skills to become successful in network marketing and in your life. You will be intrigued during this call that is full of wisdom, so get ready. Please grab your pen and papers and get ready to take some copious notes because we're all in for a treat. The gentleman I am about to introduce, I am blessed to know, to call a friend, and this man is a leader of leaders. He's one of the best, most impressive qualities about him is he has a love for people. He's a master builder. He helps individuals like ourselves and others and companies and organizations transform to reach their full potential. This is exciting. Not only is that, at the tender age of 25, he became a millionaire, made his first million at just 25 years young. He knows how to make money and achieve extraordinary results in a short period of time. In his previous company, in just the first month, he earned $10 million in sales. $10 million in sales in his first month. Approximately $169,000 in commissions. And not only for himself and the company, he also helped over 250 people make between $1,000 to $100,000 in their very first month. He's great with people, good with money, and a joy to be around. I'm blessed and have the honor to introduce to you the California kid, marketplace minister, a blessed man, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Are you there?
Absolutely. I am here. Thank you so much, Monique, for stepping up and with the wonderful, infectious introduction. We love you, and we appreciate you. Wish many blessings back to you and your family. Guys, I'm excited. I'm fired up for this call that we're doing here today. In fact, if you missed us last week, we do this call, as you said, we do this call every single week. It's brought to you for the last 3 years. I want to encourage you, wherever you are in your journey of network marketing, direct sales, this is a call you want to be on. It's absolutely free. It's for you. We're going to be training you on skills to get you to the top of your company. Absolutely free. For free. Did you hear me, guys? Absolutely free, okay? Last week, if you missed the call last week, I really want to encourage you to find the replay. It's posted on our website, as all the calls are, but I want to encourage you to make sure you listen to last week's call. The reason I say that is because today is going to be part 2 of what we originally started last week. In fact, what we're going to do over the next several weeks is we're going to continue the series on the topic of contagious confidence. This is such a big topic, and it's so important. Unfortunately, there is no one call that's going to allow me to really dive in the way that I want to on this particular topic. But it's something that I want to I can't stress enough. I want to highly encourage you to not only listen to this call, but apply the message that's on these calls. If this is your first time or second time ever finding or listening to me, I want to share with you something very important about myself that you should know. I am not the type of person that will read a book and come on this call and tell you what I read. That's not how I operate, okay? I'm only going to give you what I've got. I'm only going to teach you what I do. You see, I'm not going to pass along to you some stuff that sounds good. I heard it, at church, or maybe I got it over here, got it over there. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not interested in being your motivational speaker, but rather I'm a coach, right? I'm a coach, and that's really what I hope to encourage every single one of you that is listening today, that I want you to know that if I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you very simple, and it's going to be because it's from the happenings of my life. I know this to be true. This works for me, and it'll work for you. And so this topic of confidence, it's such a vast topic. It's so important. I want to tell you, if you missed last week, I'll tell you we started last week by talking about when it comes to confidence, okay, it has to be built on truth. We talked about last week fake confidence versus real confidence, right? And we talked about real confidence originates from no one other than God, B-I-B-L-E, Bible. Basic instructions before leaving earth. It says in the Bible, and most people don't know it, there are 38 different verses that talk about confidence. Okay, since if we're going to talk about confidence, we have to make sure we go to the origin, the beginning of confidence. Where does confidence begin? Where does it start? Okay, and this is where I want to just, again, we talked about this last week. It starts at the beginning of mankind when we were formed, and we didn't evolve from an ape. We came from God. God spoke, and there it was. Okay, God created us out of his own image. So it's important that all of you know that in the Bible, it talks about 38 different verses in the Bible that talk about confidence, okay? And so today, what we're going to do, we're going to continue this message of contagious confidence because, you know, this message really applies to every area of your life. Every area. Confidence is, you know, today I really took my time before this call for about 30, 45 minutes and really wanted to make sure that I could really just tailor-make this message for you today because I want you guys to take this and listen to this and pass this to your teams and everyone. And I want you to apply this because I got to tell you, you're not going to have any success in life without any confidence. Confidence is so important. And so I'm going to really, really do a wonderful job again of really continuing from where we started last week on how do you increase your confidence. We want you to have, the goal is to have contagious confidence. That's the goal. But what we're going to do is we're going to take you on a series and we're going to do some building blocks where we're just going to build upon the last call, and the last call. And this series may be six calls long. Okay, so I want to encourage you. This is part 2 today, and we're going to dive in, so prepare yourself, all right? So let's go ahead and pick up as we talk about confidence. I want to go ahead and identify a few different areas. Let's talk about health. Let's talk about making money. Let's talk about children. Let's talk about relationships, men and women, boys and girls. Let's talk about your business. Whatever business it is that you're running, whether you've been involved for this is your first week or maybe this is your 10th year, okay? What I want you to know, there is a common thread when you begin to unpeel success in all those areas. One common thread is that I can tell you there will be no success without confidence. I am going to make sure that I really do the best that I can to get all of you to understand that you can't have this thing called a better life without confidence. It's impossible. You can't have it. You're not going to luck up on it. I'm sorry. You're not going to luck up on the man of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams, the health of your dreams, the children of your dreams. You're not going to luck up on it. I need you to write that down, ladies and gentlemen. That's so extremely important for you to gather. It's not just going to happen through osmosis. It's going to happen as a result of it being a plan, a goal, something that you strive towards, something that you built confidence in. Very important for all of us to understand this. In fact, what I have today is I want to give you just a few scriptures. I told you there's 38 different verses in the Bible in which it references confidence. Real quickly, because I want to get to my main message here. Ephesians 3 and 12. Go ahead and pick that one up after the call. In him and through faith in him we may approach God with freedom and confidence. Jeremiah 17 and 7. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. Jeremiah 17, I just gave you that one. Let me give you a couple more here that I put down here for you. Just a few more I have here for you. Here we go. 1 John 5:14. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. All right. Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. For God gave us a spirit, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. And Philippians 4:13, my favorite. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay, all of these scriptures. This is just a few of them. This is just a few. Again, talking about confidence. So what that tells us, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why we're going to make this call into a series for about 5 or 6 weeks here, because this is such a big topic. You have to get serious. If you're serious about having a better 2020, if you're serious about going to the next level in your life, whatever that represents for you, you need to understand, more important than your goal that you're after, what should be, your biggest prayer should be, Lord, help me increase my confidence in whatever it is that you're doing. Because I just want you to know that we come from a God who's absolutely certain. He's absolutely sure. In fact, God is not an uncertain God. So I understand that all of us, sometimes our faith is a little bleak, and sometimes we all, including myself, can be uncertain at times, confused at times. This is normal, okay? But again, according to Scripture, it says, let any man or woman that lack wisdom, all you have to do is open your mouth and ask. And I know that from the little that I know in Scripture, I can tell you that one of the things that is so amazing when we study the life of Jesus, or we even read it, we'll see his confidence. He was very sure of his mission. He was very sure of himself. His yes was his yes. His no was his no. In other words, everything that he did, all the healing, all the miracles, all the things that he said, he was always very confident. Now, again, I'm not Jesus and neither are you, but again, what do we take away from that? What do we take away from that? What we learn is that we cannot have success without confidence. Again, I'm just making the point of how big of a topic this is. My goal on this call today is for those of you that are going to listen live and listen to the replay, I want to impress upon you the number one thing you should be working on is your confidence. This is the number one. Listen, let me tell you something. When your confidence goes, everything else follows. When you lose your confidence, everything else goes out the door right behind your confidence. Listen, write that down. I don't care who you are, where you are, write that down right now. When you lose your confidence, everything goes out the window. It's gone. It's a wrap. It's done. It's finito. Finished. This is so important, guys. This is so important. So if you're wondering right now why you might be feeling low, busted, and disgusted, woe is me, it's because your confidence has been disturbed. You're just not sure. Doubt has come in. It has camped out in your mind. It's taken over, and you just are so uncertain about your future, about this relationship, about where you're going, this job, this rank that you're trying to achieve. You're just uncertain. Matter of fact, you don't even believe. You started off believing, and all of a sudden you don't know what done happened. I just suppose I'll just stop right here. Maybe this is all I'm supposed to do. I've been trying, and I've been trying, but I just seem to can't figure things out. Every time I make one step forward, it seems like I get knocked back 3 times. And so I know I like to preach to my family members and friends that I am a believer and I do believe, but I just don't seem to act like it anymore. Because every time I tried that before, and I did that too, and I did that too, and I kind of tried that too. And here I am today, busted and disgusted, and I just don't know what else to do. That's why I want your full attention on this call. Confidence is everything. You know, let me just kind of pivot here real quickly. Let me tell you one of the things that I like about a man or a woman, a boy or a girl, who kind of walks with their head up and their shoulders back. And they kind of got that attitude. And see, that attitude, and some of y'all might call it arrogance. No, I don't like arrogance. I don't believe in arrogance, but I do believe in confidence. When that man walks in or that young girl walks in and they know who they are as a person. and they kind of got a swag with it. And every person's swag is different. Some people call it a quiet assurance. Some people just they live it out. In other words, they want the world to know that they are certain of who they are and what they do. I think it's attractive when somebody knows who they are. They know who they are. They know whose they are. They know where they're going. I want to make the point. This is see, when we are little boys and little girls and we're in school, sometimes we think the person with the confidence is the one who looks the cutest, who has the nicest clothes to wear. And we tend to think, oh, she's real confident. Look at her. He's real confident. Look at him. In other words, when we don't know any better, we begin to think confidence is in the mere appearance of things. So the way things look, we tend to go, okay, that's what confidence looks like. But it's not until we get older and we mature that we realize confidence is something that is developed. And that's what we're going to highlight on today. It's developed. Confidence, real confidence, not fake confidence. Real confidence is something that is developed. And what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that confidence comes from work. Work. You've got to work on yourself. You've got to work on your self-esteem. You've got to work on your skill sets in your in your business that you're building. It comes from work. So the only reason your confidence is gone because you stopped working. You stopped working. Because, see, your confidence will never leave you if you keep working on you. Now, again, let me say that again. I said your confidence will never leave you if you continue to work on you. Now, I do want you to know there are different degrees of confidence. You get around some people, and it just seems like every time you talk to them, every time you see them, everything they touch, everything they do, this man, this woman, man, they just ooze contagious confidence. All that reflects is they've been working on themselves for quite a while. Now listen to me. Working on yourself has nothing to do with your age. You can find a 22-year-old young man, and he's uber confident. He's uber confident. Let me say it again. I'm going to say, I didn't stutter. You can find a 22-year-old man that is uber confident in a particular area of his life. Confidence has nothing to do with age. It has everything, write this down, to do with repetition. It has everything to do with repetition. Repetition. Repetition has nothing to do with age. Malcolm Gladwell, many of you have heard of Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote the book called The Outliers. He talked about the 10,000 rule. In other words, boom, if you want to master something, you need to put in 10,000 hours. What am I saying? Your confidence is tied to repetition. Repetition. The baby can run now. Why? Because he used to fall down and get back up and fall down and get back up and fall down and get back up. He started walking, took his first step, and then now all of a sudden he's running. Why? Confidence is tied to repetition. Listen, this applies to anything in your life. Ladies, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry to say this. You want this confident man? Okay, well, he had to go get practice somewhere. I just want to be honest with you. There's no way he can come out the womb and be the man of your dreams confident and don't even know, and he didn't practice anywhere. Sorry, it comes with repetition. He had to get some experience in learning how to treat a woman. How do you get experience? By messing it up. Okay? Confidence is tied to repetition. Confidence is tied to the truth. Because we've seen some people that they'll put in the repetition, meaning I know a bunch of people that, used to be gangbangers or whatever, and they're pretty confident in that skill of shooting people. The problem is they're confident in the wrong way because they didn't tie it to truth. They tied it to the wrong type of truth. They didn't tie it to the truth. So what we're saying here is confidence is tied to repetition. But remember last week's call first. Confidence begins in truth. In truth. And the truth is in the good book. Not your version of the truth. There ain't but one truth, and it's written. In the owner's manual is where you can find it. Okay? So assuming you understand that confidence starts in truth, secondly of that, you got to put some work in. You got to put work in. This is why, let me tell you, you ought to be careful of taking handouts from people. Ooh, this is profound. We're talking about your network marketing business now, your direct sale business. Many of you always say, I would love to be such and such, and I would love to, if somebody would just give me a couple leaders and put a couple leaders in my group. I would love if somebody would just kind of basically do most of the building for me and just turn me on to a Romacio Fulcher where all I got to do is call him and he signs up and takes off and he just crushes the business. You should be careful of handouts. Be careful of wanting stuff that you didn't earn. Because when you get something that you didn't earn, guess what? You don't develop any real confidence because you never built it. And when you didn't build it, therefore you don't know how you achieved it. And when you don't know how you really achieved it, you can't duplicate it. Real confidence comes from repetition. You got to do the work. This is why I want to impress upon all of you to be more excited about the process of things than you are about the results. Be more excited about the journey, the process of things. We talk about seed, which is the beginning of something, the origin. And then we talk about harvest, right? But what's in between seed and harvest is process. And process is where confidence it comes from. It's the work part. You see, I love it how we all have a date that we were born and we all have a date that we're going to die. But what really matters is the dash, right? That's the process. What are you doing in that dash? And what we're saying here is for you to have more confidence in anything that you do. I don't care what it is. You're not just going to pop out the womb and just boom, I'm just confident at everything. No, it doesn't work that way. That's a lie. There's nobody, including the wealthiest man of the world, there's nobody that pops out the womb and you just are uber confident in every single area of your life. It doesn't work that way, okay? Now, we all have a gift. We all have a purpose. But if you want confidence in many different areas, to where your confidence becomes contagious, you've got to develop, here it is, a routine. You've got to develop a routine. I call it your daily routine will take you straight to your dreams. You see, this message that I'm giving you is for me. It's also for you. You've got to have a routine. You've got to have a routine. See, I'm reminded once again by the late Kobe Bryant, and he pops in my mind because he's somebody that, obviously, just this death this recently happened, but he's somebody that had a big personality, a big personality. He was very confident. He was very gifted. He knew at a very early age he was meant to play basketball. That's not the point I want to highlight. I don't want to highlight his gift of playing basketball because his athleticism, obviously athleticism is a gift. Not everybody has that. What I want to point out, more than anything, that boy worked his butt off to master his craft. That's where his confidence came from. He put the work in. He put the work in day and night. The Bible says day and night. It says to meditate day and night. If you want to be uber confident, if you want to be uber confident in your faith, if you want to be uber confident, we must meditate on the word of God day and night, day and night, day and night. Why does it say we got to do it day and night? tonight because I just told you your confidence comes from repetition day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night. Let me give you an example. I have not read the whole Bible. I am not impressed if you have read the whole Bible. Good for you. That doesn't impress me. What impresses me is when you can begin to live your life according to it, now I'm impressed. Now I'm impressed. Okay? So here's the deal. Confidence is tied to repetition. And if you're wondering why I'm referencing the Bible so much, because everything you want in this life is all hidden in that book. No, let me just give it to you sincere and true. Everything you want success, you want the man of your dreams, you want the relationship, you want the money, you want to give back, you want this, philanthropy, everything you want. See, this is the thing. I'm not a preacher. I'm just telling you what I know. Everything you want is not on social media. Everything you want is in that book. It's in that book. And I like most of you, well, wait a minute, I've tried to read the Bible, and I don't understand what some of the stuff it be talking about, man, because it's got all these they and ye and yow. Man, listen. I used to feel that way too, but now there's so many versions. Man, look, I'm more of an auditory person, to be honest with you. I prefer to listen. That's me. Most people are visual. I'm more auditory, okay? Man, they've got the Bible broken down by your favorite celebrity actor these days. I'm serious. I was listening to the Bible story broken down by Blair Underwood, Martin Lawrence. I mean, it's got some of your favorite actors. Denzel Washington, Patti LaBelle, I mean, whoever you like, they're narrating the Bible. So what I'm saying to you, there's no excuse anymore. Use your little cell phone, go to Google, punch it in, and begin to start diving in. Now, listen, why am I telling you to do this? So that you can grow your confidence. You're not going to grow your confidence until you grow your knowledge. You got to understand the truth about success, the truth about with suffering, the truth about when people talk bad about you, the truth about leadership. You got to understand the truth. And once you understand the truth, you now can begin to put the work in, and you won't start feeling so bad about your situation anymore because you'll understand that everything you're going through is just a test. That's all it is. You see, remember I said to you a moment ago, confidence comes from repetition. If you can withstand the test of time, you will be just fine. If you can withstand the test of time, that means you're going to go through some things that you understand, some things that you don't understand. How come I did all of that stuff for them people and they still left me anyway? How come he divorced me? How come this? How come that? How come? I don't understand. Remember what I said earlier. The moment your confidence goes, everything goes out the window. But see, you cannot be strong without a fight. Everybody wants the testimony, but nobody wants to go through the test. Do you understand? So the test is there to refine you. It's there to refine you. Now, some of you may say, how do I remain confident in dark times? That's really where your confidence is built. It's very easy to be confident in abundant times when things are going great. It's very easy. It's very easy to put on a happy face, smile, we are the world, lovey-dovey, when times are going great. It's very easy. But real confidence, listen to me. I need everyone to listen. Real confidence is built alone in the dark. Real confidence is built alone in the dark. In the dark. It's by yourself. You and you. It's kind of like, let me give you an example. Let's talk about health. You have a goal, you want to lose 30 pounds. And you love to eat McDonald's and Burger King every day, 4 or 5 times a day. Just an example. You know in your mind you can't get healthy eating like that. Not consistently. Everybody might eat like that occasionally, but you can't consistently eat like that and continuously be healthy. It's impossible. And there you are alone one Friday evening. And you've got this goal to lose 30 pounds. And you've been doing really good. And there you are, getting ready to go through the McDonald's drive-through line. And frankly, no one would know if you went through the line except you and the teller. That's it. No one would know that you stopped by McDonald's to grab yourself burger, fries, milkshake, etc. No one would know. Again, I say to you, confidence is built alone in the dark. By yourself, you're going to have to do the repetitions. You're going to have to do the work. It's built alone. You can't build confidence in a group of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 people. You can't do it. Your confidence is built alone. You got to put that work in. You got to put that work in. That's why I want to encourage you to learn to enjoy the process. And it's a beautiful thing when you yourself discover the truth about confidence, the truth about your situation, the truth about you being a human being, the truth that you're not always going to be up. Your faith is going to be challenged day after day. It's not always going to be rosy. But what do you do in the lean times? What do you do in the tough seasons? What do you fall back on? Remember what we said. The moment your confidence goes, everything else goes out the window. So in other words, when your confidence is built upon truth, you can be 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and say, you know what, I might be overweight, but it's not too late. All I need to do is make a real decision backed up by real action. Real action. 30, 60, 90 days, boom, this can be changed. See again. Wait, did you hear what I said? You can be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. It's not too late to lose weight. You just need to make a real decision, put a real plan of action in place, and follow through. Let me tell you something. Confidence will never, ever be established if you don't follow through. Confidence will never, ever be established if you don't follow through. Oh, this is profound. This is the highlight of the message. It's for the people who say, Romacio, I understand everything you're saying so far. This has been a great reminder. But the highlight of today's call is to let you know, real confidence will never be fully established if you don't follow through. You've got to follow through. You got to finish what you started. Because if you don't, then you remember I told you earlier there are different degrees of confidence. You may have enough confidence to get started in a race, but you don't have the confidence to finish a race because you get distracted. You get, whatever, things happen to you, and you always get distracted and lose your focus. And right when you were about to get crowned with victory, all of a sudden you got distracted. Real confidence comes from you got to finish the test. You don't get any confidence because you started to take the test. You got to finish it. Now, why is this so important for you to understand that whatever trial or tribulation, whatever's in front of you right now that you may be going through, why is it important that you finish it? You pass that test. You have to understand that promotion comes with a test. There's always going to be a test before you can get promoted to the next grade, to the next level. Okay, there's always going to be a test. And you have to pass the test. If you don't pass the test, what happens is it's going to keep coming up again and again and again until you pass it. And let me explain something to you. Delay does not mean denial. Delay does not mean denial. Just because your dream, your vision, what you're after, it may feel delayed, you haven't been denied. You're still being prepared. Some people get prepared in 15 minutes. Some people, it takes 15 years. It just depends upon where you're at, how bad you want it. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that your confidence is tied to repetitions. It's tied to work. You got to do work. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. Because then you're going to feel more. See, let me tell you why I have a big problem with people who call themselves educators based upon what they've read in a book. And they become really good at reading books and acquiring information. I have a big problem with people that have all this head knowledge. I've read this, I've read that, and yes, I am an advocate of reading. You should read, yes. But I have a big problem with that because just because you read it doesn't mean you know it. Now, wait a minute. I want you to understand this. Knowing comes from experiencing. You've experienced it. When you've experienced something, you understand the spirit of it. You understand the heart of the matter when you experience it. When you experience something, it gives you wisdom. And so then you'll know, you know what, I normally would do it this way, but based upon what I've experienced in your situation that you're going through, I recommend you go this way. See, you can only offer up such counsel and advice like that when you've experienced what it is that you're trying to teach someone. If you just go by what you read, what if all of a sudden I come up and I've got a very unique situation that did not fit the book? What do you tell me? You see, this is why I always tell people you can only give someone something that you've got. You can only teach what you know. A lot of times people think you're going to become more confident because you read a scripture in the Bible and you begin to start talking to somebody and teaching somebody about something you read. No, that don't mean you're more confident. That don't mean you're more confident at all. It just means you're more informed. You've learned something based upon reading, but you have not passed the test to elevate yourself to the next level as someone who now is an expert in that topic, where I can explain this to you. I can share this with you because I know it because I've experienced it. It's totally different when you experience something. And though I want you to think about right now, think of one thing in your life that you're confident in. And why are you confident? Because you've been through it, good or bad. You've been through it. You've experienced it. You've walked in those. You know the process of that thing. And this is why I highly want to encourage all of you to really fall in love with the process. I know you got these goals and dreams, and that's wonderful. But we've got to get uber excited about the process. We've got to get uber excited about what happens when people aren't calling you back. What happens when you're out there prospecting and recruiting and people are telling you no. We've got to get excited about that process. Because it's that process that's really strengthening your confidence. You don't know it then. You'll look back and go, man, I'm so thankful and I'm so strong now because I withstood the test of time. Because other people, when they told them no, they quit. They couldn't take it. And that's why they don't have the confidence that you have in that area. And I'm not just talking about prospecting and recruiting. I'm talking about health. I'm talking about wealth. I'm talking about relationship. I'm talking about parenting. I'm talking about philanthropy. I'm talking every area of life. You are going to have to go through the fire to go higher. Point blank, end of story. So I came to tell all of you, those listening to the replay, the only reason you're not progressing in life, you've lost your confidence. Get it back. You've lost your confidence. Get it back. Somewhere on the road, you lost the wheel while driving. You've lost your confidence. And when your confidence goes out the window, everything else goes right with it. I'm reminded by the famous cliche, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's what happens when your confidence goes. You become desperate, you become unsure, you become very insecure, you don't know what to do. So from my vantage point, from my perspective to all of you, to all of us, the most important thing about living in this life is your confidence. Your confidence. Now, how do you have confidence in things that you may not be so good in? Watch this. For those of you that do follow me on social media or maybe on these calls, I always tell you, always remember in all that you do, there's nobody in the world any greater than you. And the reason why I tell you this is because I believe 100% there is nobody better than you. Nobody. You may ask me, well, why do I believe that? Because you and I both were created in God's image. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. I'm talking about me and you. We've been made in God's image. So there's nothing wrong with us. There's nobody better than us. We are God's very best work. This is not my opinion. Go read the book. We are God's very best work. So there is no such thing that someone's better than you. What are you talking about? Better means privilege, means that they're above and you're beneath. No. You got it twisted, homie. You confused. You don't understand. Nobody's better than you. Yes, there are people that may be further along in the journey than you, but that's inspiration. Because if he or she can be further down the road, or maybe perhaps more confident than you today, that's inspiration to let you know that if you get your butt on the right track and you begin to start working, you too can be confident just like them, if not even more. But they're not better. It just means they've been working at it longer. It just means that they've discovered some stuff that you don't know. They've been working at it longer than you. And so at the time when you met him or her, they appear to be very confident in what you're seeing at that moment. What you didn't see is way back down the road when they first began the journey. I guarantee you they didn't sound nor look the way they look right now. Ask me how I know. Because every tree starts off as a seed. Everything big once began small. How do I know it? It's in the book. See, you have to understand, guys, that these principles that I'm sharing with you today is not stuff that I made up. I didn't make this up. You have to learn that everything under the sun is in the Bible. Everything. It's nothing new. Nothing new. So when you begin to read this, you're going to be informed about what's to come in your life. So then when it happens to you, you now can decide which choice do you want to make. And see, remember I told you on call number 1, confidence must begin in truth. If we're going to build something, we want to build it on a solid foundation, right? Okay? So you got to know the truth, the concrete truth of the matter. And then you can begin to go through your building process. And in the building process, you are going to fall down. You are going to not get it right sometimes. You are going to make many mistakes, some mistakes that you will purposely make yourself. Some mistakes will happen that you were unaware that these were happening to you. In other words, you're going to mess it up intentionally, and then sometimes unintentionally stuff is going to happen to you. But remember, all of this is happening to refine you. If you continue to believe in who you are. The moment you lose belief about who you are, you begin to accept right where you are. I want you to write that down. See, sometimes some people get knocked down and they stay down, and they begin to be down, and they begin to think down, and then they begin to continuously go down, because that's where they believe, or that's where they see themselves to be. While others of us will get knocked down, but as Les Brown says, we got knocked down, but we looking up. And if you can look up, you can get up, right? So again, it comes back down to how do you see things? Are you the type of person that wants to continuously be unconfident in everything that you do? I really don't believe that's who you are. I don't believe I know that's not what you're meant to be. So stop choosing to be that way. Now again, let's go back to health. And you desire to be healthy. Guess what? Health starts with one step at a time. If you can't run, like me right now, I can't run. My calf is messed up. I got a little Achilles issue going on here. So I can't run right now. But I can get on a treadmill and put it on level 10, and I put it on level 4, 10 incline, and I can walk. I can get on a bicycle and I can ride. I can get on a Stairmaster and I can step. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? I got to move. I got to move. I have to move. Motion creates emotion. The more you move, the better you feel. See, I know what it's like to feel heavy. Bunch of nasty food in your gut. Visceral fat is what they call it when you get over 40. I know a little something about that. But no, I'm not meant to be fat. I'm not meant to just be obese. Let myself go. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. You can't preach about success and be a mess. You can't preach about success and be a mess. No. I don't care what the statistics say. Oh, you get to be this age and that age and this starts going. No. I'm not listening to them. Again, what did I tell you? When your confidence goes, everything goes out the window. Everything. That's why I love to work. Let me do it, mama. Let me do it. I want to do it. I'll call them. Let me go do the presentation. Let me take the last shot. Let me go prospect them. I'll do it. Let me do it. Let me. I want to do it. Let me do it. No. Don't give it to me. Just tell me how to do it. I'll go do it. Let me go do it. Why? Because in the process of doing, that's when you get stronger, baby. That's when you get stronger. I love how men, we talk about, boy, you better man up. You better man up. No. Let me do it. Don't do it for me. Let me do it. Because I need the strength. I need the power. I need the confidence. And the confidence, your mama and daddy can't give you confidence. I'm sorry. They can tell you they love you. They can tell you you're beautiful. They can tell you you can jump to the moon. They can tell you all that wonderful stuff. But they can't give you confidence. No, sir. No, ma'am. You're going to have to earn that one yourself. And again, today, on today's call, I want you to know that confidence comes from repetition. Confidence is developed through a process. the fastest way to reaffirm or to reinstate or to get your confidence back, the fastest way to do it that I know of, the fastest way, let me give it to you this way. Faith without works is dead. In other words, what that means to you guys is you can't just be this type of person who says, I believe, you're going to have to work as well. Now, I know not all of you on the call today are believers. I know that, okay? So let me tell you something. The fastest way to get your confidence back in any area of your life, I'll start with the believers, then I'll talk to the non-believers. To the believers, the fastest way to do it is, number one, go to those scriptures I gave you, and you need to speak what you know to be true. I know you're broke. I know you're busted and disgusted. I know, you're feeling insecure. I know you feel weak right now. I get it. I understand. But the fastest way to become strong again is start at the truth. Go back to those scriptures that I gave you. Those scriptures are for you and me. They're not just for readers. They're for all of us. Go back and first of all, you need to speak those scriptures to yourself. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. The first way to get your confidence back, you got to speak what is true. Listen to me. I didn't say speak how you feel. Oh, this is good. You got to get this. I did not say speak how you feel. I'm not concerned with how you feel right now. That's part of the process. Number one, you must start with speaking what is true. Number one. That is the first thing you must do, quickly. Number two, after you speak what is true, you now have to put together some little bitty wins. Let me give you an example. I'm reminded, my mother always reminds me, as I've gone through my life, and if there's any time that, I may be struggling or dealing with something tough or going through a tough season, I love how she says to me, she says, when is the last time, Romacio, that you've gone to Bible study? When is the last time that you've gone to church? And I remember there's been times in my life when I've said, Mom, I haven't gone in a long time. And she says to me, okay, all I want you to do is I just want you to go to church. That's it. And it wasn't for a while, for quite a while, I didn't understand why she would always say, that's all she would say, just go to church. And then it wasn't until after me doing this several times, falling off the wagon, getting back on, falling off the wagon, getting back on, falling off the wagon, getting back on. It wasn't until several times of me doing this, I understood what she was saying. She knew that just by me getting in the environment of a church and hearing the word of truth, it would reinvigorate something deep inside me that it's almost like it would start my engine all over again. Now, for those of you that are mothers, specifically if you're a believer or not, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you're dealing with a grown man and you can't just tell them what to do and they're going to do it, you got to sometimes make suggestions. Well, baby, why don't you just go on back to church? I just want you to go to church. That's all I want you to do. You need to get back to Bible study. You need to get back to church. But Mama, I'm dealing with this. I know what you're dealing with. But you need to just get back to church. That's all I want you to do. And she would know. She had the mother's knowing that once you get back in that environment, something would begin to start happening on the inside of you deep down. So number two, guys, number one is you must speak it. Number two, you instantly have to create some little bitty wins. And for me, it was a little bitty win just for me going to a Bible study, just for me going to church. It was a little bitty win. And then I would do it again, and I felt a little bit better. I got a little bit more encouragement, a little bit more encouragement, a little bit more confidence. And I was able to get back on my horse again. Get back to what I know is true. Pick myself up. Stop feeling sorry for myself. And I would begin to take action. So what am I saying is this. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, confidence comes from a series of little wins. What you're trying to create, number two, you're trying to create some instant momentum. Write that down. Number two, you're trying to create some instant momentum. Instant momentum will come from you taking some action. You've got to take some action. Okay, let me give you another example. Okay, I remember times in my life where I fell off the wagon with my health. You know, I'm just not meant to be chubby and pudgy. That's just not what God had for. That's not how I see myself. That's not who I am. Okay? It's just not. I'm just being honest. As long as God gives me health and energy, I'm supposed to be in that gym, moving and grooving, energy, California kid. That's me, right? Now, I'm not saying with time you don't pick up a few pounds. We all do. But, you know, obese? No, that's not me. That's not how I see myself. So there have been times when I was going through whatever I was going through, and, you know, some of you may know what I'm talking about. We begin to just make horrible choices with dieting and just lack of movement, and, you know, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And there have been times when all of a sudden, you know, here it is, I believe in working out. I believe in being fit. I believe in all this stuff, having energy. And all of a sudden, I haven't done it for a while. Never mind the reason I haven't done it for a while. So what do I do? Okay, I get back in the gym. I begin to tighten up my diet. I get back to the truth of what I know is true. And listen, I didn't become pudgy overnight, so you're not going to become lean overnight. It's a process, and guess what happens? I go the first day, and guess what? I feel good that I went. Now, my body doesn't feel good. No. My body don't feel good after day one or day two. Oh, no. When you didn't took off 60, 90, 80, 100, 100 days or 200 days off, you don't go to the gym and say, oh, I feel so great. No. My mind is feeling, okay, all right. There we go. That's day one. I like it. Okay, come on, Mas. Give me day two. All right, there we go. All right, come on, Mas. Give me day three. All right, okay, We got 3 days strung together. Okay, give me day four. Okay, all right, I like it. Give me day five. Okay, all of a sudden, all right, you start to move a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying, number two, is you're trying to create instant momentum. You need some momentum. It's a series of little wins, not the big win. I'm giving you an illustration of, you know, I done fell off the wagon with my health, blah, 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 you know, and now I want to lose some weight. I want to do all this stuff. Okay, and I just need some little bitty wins. Write that down. Number two, create little bitty wins. Now, this is what I want you to understand. Even though I might have been heavier than what I was used to being, deep in my stomach, deep in my heart, I still believe in myself, even though when I look at myself, I didn't like what I was looking at in the mirror. In other words, like, how did I get here? Well, that's over. You're here now, buddy. How? What do you mean, how? You're here now. That's a dumb question. Question is, how do we get out of here? Okay? So what I'm saying to you is, even though I wasn't liking what I was seeing in the mirror, I never let go of what I believe to be true. I am the head and not the tail. I am the top and not the bottom. I am more than enough. I am the one. You see what I'm saying? I began to go back to my truth of what I know. Can't nobody do me but me. There'll never be another one like me, ever. Okay? And see, that's why it's so important for you to root your confidence in truth, all truth. And a part of truth is you can't eat whatever you want and continue to be lean and mean. You just can't, brother. You can't do that. Yes, you can take some days off, and we can, moderation for whatever. That's true, but you're not good. It's not, see, that's what I'm saying. You got to know the truth. You got to know the truth, guys. You're not going to be able to have this crazy childlike energy like you had when you was 15 if you just keep eating whatever you want, how you want, as much as you want. You know, you can't. It's unrealistic. That's not real. Okay? But if that's what you have done, where basically you've abused yourself, which I know what that's about. I've done that too. Forgive yourself instantly and go back to the truth, number one, and then number two, let's create some instant momentum. I've given you two examples. One was me going back to church, going to Bible study. Look, I'm not here trying to promote. Look, I'm just telling you what I did so I can get my swagger back. Does that make sense? And if any one of you on this phone that's listening live or to the replay would dare say that you've never, ever, ever lost your swagger, you've never, ever lost some confidence, you are a bold-faced lie. Every leader of any kind, including Peter, he began to walk on the water, and as long as he was looking at Jesus, he was good. But the moment he started to look at the water, he lost his confidence. Don't tell me everybody goes through peaks and valleys, ups and downs with their confidence. I am here to tell you this is what you do when you go through. So today, what I've given you is I've given you two steps of what do you do. How do you quickly regain your confidence? Number one, I said go back to the truth, and you must speak. In other words, you must, when I work out, guys, I hold on to just a few scriptures. I mean, I'm telling you, my trainer right now, man, he don't play no games, and I love him. He don't play no games. He brings the power. He brings it. He brings real workouts to me. He don't play no games, my trainer. And I'm telling you, when I'm doing certain workouts and certain things he wants me to do, he doesn't know it, but I'm sitting there talking to myself in my head. I'm saying to myself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Over and over. This is what I'm doing. I'm speaking the truth to myself. And if you do that long enough, what happens is it is true. I find myself doing more because I'm hanging on to the word of truth. My body will adapt. My spirit is the strongest thing I possess. This is the things that I'm saying to myself in my head while going through a difficult time. Okay? Number one. So number one is speak truth. And number two, you got to create some instant momentum. And how do you create that? You want to create a series of little bitty wins. So I gave you two examples. We talked about church. We talked about health. For those of you trying to find the girl of your dreams or whatever it may be, and you feeling, woe is you, and you're just not this and that, what's a little bitty win? Okay, well, maybe you need to go out there and talk to somebody. Maybe you need to go out there, maybe you need to develop the courage just to go say hello to somebody. Maybe you might be real shy and you're just afraid of speaking. Okay? So you got to create a little bitty win, just a little bitty win. A little bitty win. And then you got to create another little bitty win, backed up by another little bitty win, backed up by another little bitty win. Now when you begin to string all them little bitty wins together, next thing you know, you didn't hit a home run. That's how you do it, okay? Now, we're going to continue this call, guess what, next week. Next week will be part 3. We're going to continue from where we left off. What we're talking about right now as we end today is what do you do to regain your confidence? What do you do? Number one, we start with speaking truth. Number two, we talk about creating a series of little bitty wins. And then I've got more for you coming up next week. As I told you guys, this is going to be a long series because, as you can see here, this affects every area of our life, every area. You know, see, sometimes you think that your confidence goes up after you win the game, after you get the money, after you get the house, after you have the baby, after you get the man or the woman you want. No. No. If you're really building real confidence, you should have the confidence before it ever even happens. And if you have the confidence before it ever happens, guess what? You speed it up. It happens sooner. Because the vibrations that you begin to put out into the universe are vibrations of you're walking around in expectancy. What does that mean? That means you're walking around expecting him to come to you, expecting it to happen. You're talking as if. You're thinking as if. You're conducting yourself as if. So therefore, when it happened, it wasn't luck. This was all by design. See? This is what I'm saying to you right now. We'll pick this up next week. Is what I'm saying is you, based upon your vibration, your confidence, you can bring things into your world quicker than you think. That's why this is so important for you to establish, for you to understand. What do you do when you're going through? So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm the California Kid. I love each and every single one of you. As I always say, don't ever forget, in all that you do, there's nobody in the entire world any greater than you. Hey, look, I love you guys. I want you to share these calls. Remember, gifts are meant to share, not to keep. Share it with people you love. Everybody needs to hear this free message to be able to be encouraged, because our goal together is to help each and every single one of you establish contagious confidence. I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.